Down.
Caught one.
Gotta get it right. Gotta get it right.
All dead. One behind, one coming in touch.
Oh my god! Oh my god, Jake, did you just see that? Two of them, but I sniped one and beamed the other, so no one stole my kill.
You must have stole mine.
Nah, no one stole my kill. I roasted both of those guys.
Everybody's stealing shit. Someone got right to the left.
Oh!
No way.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. Woo! What's up, everybody? My name is Dutch Drummer. Thank you so much for checking out the videos so far. Hope you like those little highlight clips in the front. Some pretty nasty outplays there, so I hope you guys enjoyed those, and a nice snipe with it as well. So this is gonna be my first tactical breakdown of my Warzone gameplay. I get a lot of people in my chat, a lot of comments on YouTube, just asking me how to like legitimately get better at Warzone, and it's a really good question. Just because I feel like the content that's on YouTube right now in terms of tactical breakdowns, helping people get better, it's not at the quality that I think it should be. Too many YouTubers talk about loadouts, sensitivity settings, aim assist settings, and those sort of things, instead of breaking down actual gameplay. Because when you're just talking about loadouts and settings, it doesn't really give people the opportunity to look at legitimate gameplay, look at the strategies that are working for people who are good at the game, and then apply them to their own gameplay. So that's kind of what this series is going to be about. I'm going to tactically break down some of my gameplay step by step for you guys, so then you can take the strategies that I use as, you know, a 4KD player and hopefully apply it to your gameplay, and then you can be on the trend to become a better player. So hope you guys enjoy. Thank you so much for tuning in, and don't be afraid to drop a like and drop a comment at the end, giving me suggestions on what I should do next for you guys. All right, so without further ado, here we go. All right, so I just want to talk about the beginning with you guys for a second. It's pretty simple. I like to drop Boneyard at those little houses just because it gives you a really good opportunity to get loot and get guns right away. And then Boneyard are pretty easy gunfights just because there's not a lot of height differentiation in terms of the layout of that actual part of the map, right? There's not tall buildings that you have to worry about. There's not bunkers that you have to worry about that people are camping in, right? It's mostly just one-on-one gunfights on the ground. So that's why I like to drop, as you can see, Boneyard at those two houses. And I think what you guys are going to see in the beginning is my strategy is I personally don't go for a loadout right away, just because my setup for solos is actually non-ghost. I don't usually, unless I have an incredible start, I don't usually buy a loadout in the beginning. I more focus on getting UAVs, because before the end of the first circle, a lot of people are not going to be able to get their loadout in solos, right? It's 10,000, so it's a lot of money that they have to save up to get a loadout, and I think the majority of players are just either die or they're not, you know, able to find enough loot to get their loadout. So I focus more on getting UAVs, because then people don't have ghost, they're very easy to take down, and just build your confidence out right from the get-go. Instead of having to spend 10k on a loadout, you can just buy 2 UAVs or buy a self-revive and then a UAV. Because in the beginning of solo games, like, you really want to push the advantage in the beginning as much as possible, because after the first circle, the majority of players are going to have ghost, so they won't be on the UAV anymore. So you want to try to push that advantage before the first circle closes as much as possible. And I think a trend, so here we go. So here we're buying our first UAV. We're buying plates as well, just to get a full stack of plates ready for any gunfight. And this is, as you can see, buying the first UAV, just because, again, the majority of players are not going to have ghost. Really, nobody in this area is going to have ghost, as you can see by the minimap here. You've got about 4 or 5 dots in the same vicinity. Yeah, 5 dots in the same vicinity, because no one has ghost. And the UAV is such a huge advantage that is what you want to use. And then as well, use bounty contracts to keep track on certain people's positions. So here we're pushing into this area. We can push pretty confidently here just because there's no one behind us. There's no one on the side of us. They're mostly all in front of us. So we are just pushing the advantage and going directly for these kills. And you'll see a trend during this gameplay as well, that I move relatively confidently through the map, even in later parts of the game, just because in solos, they're very unforgiving, right? If somebody has ghosts and they're sitting in a corner or they're hiding behind a rock, they're just going to kill you, and that's just the way the game works. So you might as well move through the map with confidence, because you know, if somebody catches you off guard and they have ghost, that's unfortunately the way it goes, and there won't be anything you will be able to do about it. So just move through the map with confidence, and you'll have a lot more success. You don't have to worry about every other corner because, you know, you check every corner, and then that one corner you don't check, there's the rat. There's the ghost. So here we go. We find our first kill. Nice little slide into the gunfight there. If you guys didn't know, if you slide while shooting, your hip fire is just as accurate. So utilize that as much as possible. So there is another guy in this area. I'm going to go ahead and buy, like I said, another UAV. Nobody really has ghost at this point, so I'm just checking my surroundings, making sure the buy is safe, and then go ahead and purchasing another UAV. So the reason I left the bounty target there is because he was stuck in a building. It didn't look like he was moving. So I actually went for another kill instead of my bounty target because it didn't seem like he wanted to move. So I just went for the easier kill, left the bounty in the building, and focused on easier targets. So here we're popping UAV, and there's that second guy that we thought was in the area. And of course, since he's on the UAV, we just position ourselves properly through the map and just focus on his position on the UAV. Not sprinting around this corner. There we go. There he is. Just an easy drop shot if you're playing on tactical to finish that kill. I did sprint a little bit around that corner, but I didn't tactical sprint, right? Because that puts yourself at a really bad advantage. So I knew where he was. I simply walked around the corner and finished the kill. So the UAV still popped. There's one single person here in front of us. And we get a lucky break. Here he comes running right across the field in between the planes. Doesn't even know that we're here. And it's a very easy cleanup kill. So he's spraying around the corner. I just let him spray and then finished off the kill. So first tip here, grab myself a trophy system and a heartbeat sensor. If you get a heartbeat sensor in the beginning, hopefully you guys know that it is an absolute game changer before the first circle. Everybody's going to be on your heartbeat, so use that as much as possible. But the second tip is the trophy system. You're going to see me getting cars a lot in this game. The reason why is you can utilize cars and trophy systems to get yourself in the best position possible. And you'll see that as this gameplay here continues, is that I utilize cars and trophy systems quite a bit, because instead of having to run across the map, put myself in awkward open positions, I could just use the car, get myself in a better position, and make people uncomfortable. So that's what we're doing here. And as you can see, I'm moving very confidently here through this part of the map, because again, if there's somebody hiding in this warehouse, if there's somebody hiding in that train next to my left, and they kill me, that's unfortunately how the game works. And there's nothing I can do about it. So you might as well move through the map confidently and work your way. So I'm working my way buy station to keep buying UAVs, because in about a minute 40 seconds here, we're going to get our first loadout, and we'll be able to grab our fully kitted suit. So at this part of the map here, I'm going to go ahead and grab the vehicle that's here. Seems to be a big Bertha, as you guys hopefully know. That's what most people call it in Call of Duty. And I have my trophy system, so I find this spot is the best part to the trophy system. A lot of people put it on the back. You can do that as well. But I think right on top, like a little hat. And there's the nice Canada skin. Happy belated Canada Day to all the Canadians out there. And then happy belated July 4th, of course, for all the Americans out there. So here we are, perfect example. See, he is just hiding on this hill. I utilized the car to get myself in an advantageous position. What I mean by that is I have high ground on him. He doesn't even know whether I'm going to jump out the van at that point or try to run him over. And that makes people very uncomfortable. And that's what solos really is. It's putting people in uncomfortable situations and pushing your advantage. And as you can see, you can move through the map very fluidly when you have a car and a trophy system. Just because it's going to be very hard for people to kill you, especially just one person, right? And in trios and quads and duos even, you know, being in a car with a trophy system, you're not that safe, right? People can still gun you out of them. But in solos, geez, it's like you have another member of the team, right? The car and the trophy system is almost another player in and of itself. So utilize that as much as you can. And then here's a king bounty. So if you guys didn't know, another tip for you guys, you can actually mark them on the map and it'll track his position right on your screen for you. I always recommend doing this because it literally highlights the person's position every couple of seconds. So it's basically a free UAV on that player. So always mark the king bounty if you're near him. And you can do so by clicking on him on the map or just pinging him on the map. So I'm going to go ahead and push my loadout here. This second loadout, it's obviously his because he's in the general vicinity of me. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my M4 and RPG. And here you go. So instead of taking this gunfight right out in the middle of the open, I actually move up to this wall and try and mount. Mounting is obviously one of the easiest ways to win a gunfight. Obviously, most people know that, but they don't actually take advantage of it as much as they should. Like in that scenario, I got perfect aim on him because I mounted and broke his shield. So now I'm just pushing him, keeping my eye on the heartbeat sensor to notice exactly where he's at. I pre-aim this part here to see if he's up top. He's not. He's down bottom like a little rat hiding. And then right here, you can approach this situation differently if you wanted to. I just go ahead and challenge him. So I look around here, I see someone drops a loadout. This is pretty much a free kill here. You can go ahead and directly sprint towards this guy because he's not even aware of your position. And I just pre-aim and, you know, get an easy kill on him. So here comes our first interesting gunfight. Most of the kills so far have been relatively easy, as you guys can see. So now I'm buying a self-res and buying a UAV and popping a UAV, and I can see that there's someone behind me. I think he's floating, but he's not. He's actually on the rock. So you start shooting me, I instantly gain cover, right? So let me just pause the video here for you guys. Instead of turning around and trying to actually engage that person in a gunfight, I don't. I take cover behind the building because he has a massive advantage on me. This is one of the things I want to get through to you guys, is that you don't have to take disadvantageous gunfights. Most of the time you should be able to take cover, reset, plate up, and then get into an advantageous position. In this case, I'm obviously not. I'm wide out in the open, my back isn't covered, and there's a guy on a head clip in front of me. So what do? I'm going to take this car because now I can drive around, focus on where this guy's position is, and on the UAV he has moved back over to that building because he now realizes that I'm pursuing him in a car, and his rock, where he was at that rock, is no longer an advantageous position. So I can see he's nervous. I'm focusing on my heartbeat because he's on the heartbeat. I challenge him and finish the gunfight. So this is a very important gunfight that I think you guys can take a lot of tips from because, first of all, I don't take the disadvantageous gunfight. Right? I take cover, I played up, and I realize the situation that I'm in. I see the car, and now I can utilize the car to get myself in a more advantageous position. And that's exactly what I did, and that's why I got this car. So I think a lot of players might have been hesitant and maybe stayed behind that building a little bit too long instead of grabbing the car, being aggressive and pushing the advantage, right? Because you have a UAV up, you have your loadout. You can push the advantage on this person. You don't have to stay behind the building and let yourself, you know, be pressured by someone who's on a massive head clip. Grab the car, get into a better position, and finish that gunfight. So as we all know, airport, a very hot spot of the map. So I'm going to go ahead and obviously again purchase another UAV and see if anyone is in the area. Again, moving confidently through this part of the map. If there's someone to my right with ghosts and they kill me, you know, alas, that's just the way it is. You might as well move confidently towards the targets that you do know are there and not focus on the ones that you might not know are there, because if they kill you, that's just the way the game goes. So we're moving through the area, just trying to spot the players, and another opportunity here. So now I actually see that there's gunfire coming over from the right. So now I know that there is actually, in fact, a ghost player on that side of the map. Now I have to be a little bit more wary. So he gets taken out from that player. That player is wide out in the open, and I go ahead and finish that kill. So at this point, I know that there's a player over here to the right. So I'm going to go ahead and move into a position where I'm able to spot him. So in this position here, this is one of the only, I would say, difficult gunfights that I take in the map. And the reason why I choose this over going around is I can't see the other side of the wall. When I walk over this wall, I can see the left side, and then I can also see the right side. So I'm just trying to keep all of these lines of sight as open as I can to try and spot this player, because he's not going to be on the UAV and he's not going to be on the heartbeat. So I have to get into a position where I'm able to open up all of the lines of sight to try and locate this player, and that's kind of what this wall provides. So I move over the wall here, and I luckily move over and eventually see him on the other side of the wall here to the right, and then I finish the gunfight. So this is one of the only real difficult gunfights that I do take in the whole game, just because I was in a pretty overexposed area, and now I'm getting shot in my back. So now that there's another ghost player that's in a position. Now, as you can see here, he is in a much better position than I am. He's actually behind that box over there. So what do? Is instead of taking that gunfight, I move to a position more advantageous to me because right in that situation, he's got a massive head clip on me and he knows exactly where I am. So now I have to relocate and get myself into a better position to take him out. And that's exactly what I do here. So I move behind the wall, I played up, and I jump on this little rock here just to get a line of sight of where he's going. Is he going left or he's going right? And there I spot him going right. So now the situation has completely changed, right? He's now went from a position of advantage where he was behind a box, behind a head clip, to a complete disadvantage. He doesn't know whether I'm jumping over this fence. He doesn't know if I'm whether moving left or right, right? He's really in the unknown when I'm kind of in the complete know. I know exactly where he's going and where he's going to be. So then I move to a position where I know I'm going to be able to cut him off. I set myself up. If you guys didn't know, a small tip here, you can look under these buildings and see feet, and that's exactly what I do. I set up, I mount, and it's an easy kill, right? Where I think in this situation, a lot of players may have messed this up and actually ended up dying because they would have stayed in that position and not moved to a position where they're actually in the advantage. So always remember, guys, you can move, you can relocate, and you can get an advantage on your opponent just by making smart decisions and not overthinking things. Move to a position where you're in the advantage and he's not. And then I mounted on that wall and ended up getting a very easy kill, but could have been a relatively difficult one. So here we are, again, moving through the map with confidence. If people with Ghost are camping and they kill me, that is unfortunately the way the game goes. So move through the map with confidence. Always keep your head on a swivel, of course. Look around your surroundings. But in solos, if somebody kills you that's ghosted out, that's just unfortunately the way it's going to work. And this is one of the examples that I'm talking about. This guy was obviously ghosted out. You know, playing very scared, playing very hidden, and I just got lucky timing on him. He's the type of player where when you're moving confidently through the map like this, he's the type of player that will unfortunately, shoot you in the back and most likely kill you unless you, turn on him and destroy him. And those are things that just happen in solos, right? I get killed by people behind me all the time. So I know that there's a guy here. He is on the UAV, so I'm going to go ahead and get myself into a position where I know I can take him out. Preemptively throw the C4. Somehow doesn't hit him. But I jump through the window with confidence and end up taking him out. And like I said, so I'm just pushing the advantage, right? I have a UAV. I'm just going to push these guys to get as much advantage as I can. Set myself up on head clips, near rocks, near cover, that sort of thing. And I mean, these are just the easiest kills, right? This is really nothing special. These are just using the UAV, getting myself in position where I'm at least behind him, or he has actually no idea where I'm at. Again, I'm not tactically sprinting. I'm casually walking through, just making sure that I'm all set up for the gunfight. Then I get the easiest kill in the world. And as you can see, this is a trend, right? I'm using the UAV, I'm pushing my advantage, and I'm getting myself in a position to get easy kills. I'm not hiding. I'm not sitting in a building waiting for people to cross to me. If I see a guy on the UAV, I'm gonna push that advantage as much as possible. So at this point in time, I'm really focusing on how many players are left. And as you can see, wow, there's actually a lot of people on the UAV. So there's one across the river. I'm not too worried about him. But there is one in the tower. So this is one of the reasons why I use RPGs in solos. Because this is just a free kill, right? If he's in the tower and I have an RPG, it's going to take 2 or 3 RPGs and it's going to be a kill. So I'm just going to go ahead and fire off these RPGs and get an easy kill. Now, unfortunately, I do get sniped. So when you get sniped in Warzone, don't take it as an automatic death. It actually, in reality, takes 3 sniper shots for someone to completely finish you off. One has to be a headshot, or at least a shot that downs you, and then he has to hit 2 more if he misses the head. So in solos, it's very important that if you do get sniped, try to move your guy in a way where you're not an easy headshot, and then you also get into cover like I do here. So I'm moving my body left and right, swaying the aiming stick, getting behind a tree, and getting cover, because now I can plate up, and the game is far from over. So I know that I took out the guy in the tower, so I'm going to go ahead and get to safety. So I did not stay out in the open. I did not go and stay crouched behind the garage. I immediately headed to safety, and most of the time safety is inside buildings. So went ahead and pushed fire. Now, there is someone there. So this is a little bit of a skill gunfight, right? I had to jump shot him because it was a quick reaction time. So there, a lot of people might lose that gunfight, and that's okay. That just comes with practice and playing more Warzone. So now I hear somebody. Actually hear someone, so I go ahead and ready myself for the gunfight, and he comes sprinting around the corner, and I finish him. So this actually happens to be the guy that sniped me earlier. He was obviously very upset that he didn't get the kill, so he came sprinting, full sprint, towards me. I was already pre-aimed, ready to go, and took him out. So in this position, I know that there's 4 people left, right? It's me and then 3 other people. Now I hear shooting out in the hills. So that is a one-on-one gunfight between 2 players. So that's 2 out of the 3. Now where's the last guy? Where's the last guy, right? Where's the 3rd one? So he might be in this building here in front of me, or he could most likely be out in the woods to the left. And here's where I spot him, right? He shoots me. Now, instead of staying up top fire and trying to take that gunfight, I get myself into a better position of advantage. I get myself into armory, because then I can take a one-on-one gunfight with this guy. Because if I stay on top fire, that other building I was up, I can actually get shot from the people on the hills. So now I'm having a 1v2 almost kind of gunfight. I get myself into armory, I get myself upstairs, and I get myself into a position of advantage. That's what the real focus of this video is. So now, I know exactly where this player is, and he has to move. As you can see by the position of the circle, he has to move towards me. That is so critical, right? I don't have to move towards him. I don't have to be aggressive towards him. He is in such a bad spot that the gas is actually going to do my work for me. Right? The gas is actually going to push him towards me, which means he's going to have to run out in the open at some point, and it's going to give me an easy kill. And I mount up, right? I mount up as much as I can because it gives me an easy shot. So now, here, I'm reloading, and he actually gets a few shots on me. But instead of plating up, I use that time to kill him because, again, he has to move out in the open. I don't. I don't have to move at all. I'm sitting in the top of this building, fancy-dancy, because I put myself in a better position than him. So even though he gets a few shots on me, I don't utilize that time to plate up. I actually move to the next window because I know that player has to move out in the open. So, you know, use your advantage as much as possible. It's really as simple as that. And now here we are, game time, 1v1, clutch time. He has to be out in the hills. So, in this position, as you can see, I'm more focused on the hills instead of the building beside me, because what I find is when a player is up on top like that, like the high ground, they rarely ever move down, right? They like their position so much that they have the high ground, they have the hill. They're never ever going to push down into the unknown, right? Push down off of the hill into a building that they don't know where anyone's at. This is kind of a play that maybe not a lot of people would make. But again, I think he's the type of player that he's not going to move off that hill. So I think he's way up there. I think all of these trees and this area is all safe because he doesn't seem like the player that wants to move down. So I'm freely driving around, and I'm just trying to spot him. There he is, laying down on the hill, just like I thought he would have been. I push up to a place where I have cover, and I just go ahead and finish the easy kill. So, that is the gameplay breakdown for you guys. I really hope you enjoyed. Please leave a comment and leave a like on the video if you liked it. And then in the comments, let me know what I can do better. Let me know what kind of gameplay you would like me to break down next. I have a 20 bomb in trios as well that I'm thinking about breaking down for you guys. It includes a lot of 1v2, 1v3 gunfights. So if you want to get better at taking out multiple people, I can show you how to do that as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you so much for tuning into the YouTube video, and I hope to see you guys at my next Twitch live stream. It's every weekday at 5 p.m. Eastern. So thank you so much, guys. Peace.